In every season, in every phase of your life, everybody can't go, and that's okay. You have to know specifically what you're searching for. You got to be self-aware, girl. Understand that it is an instant decision, but a gradual change. You can literally change locations. You can change friend groups and be back on the same thing that you were previously on. Hey sis, welcome to our silly little podcast. But no, for real though, welcome to another episode of Sis, I Love You. And I know, it's been a minute since I've been on screen on the camera to talk to you guys, and it's actually going to change quite drastically. Well, let me just tell you guys where today's topic is coming from. As of recently, I've had a really big change in everything. Living situations, the city I live in, my career, relationships. My whole life is changing. It inspired me to talk about the topic, letting go. Because your new life will always come at the cost of your old one. And I think a lot of times we say it with ease and we don't really know what letting something go entails. A lot of times, especially it's just ambitious people or someone who's looking to change their life or do something different, we tend to get so caught up on the new life that we forget to let the grip go on our old one. Which leads me to the first point, which is the easier you let go, the easier it is to pick up. And it's just, for example, when you are forming a new habit, a lot of times the reason why you can't stick to the new habit that you're forming is because you haven't let go of the old one. Or you can't form a new habit because you haven't let go of the old habit. And let's just say, I actually seen someone say this. I had a friend that smoked cigarettes. Not me. They had a friend who smoked cigarettes. And in order for that friend to drop the cigarettes, he started running 7 miles a day at the end of every day after work to cut the edge off or whatnot. I don't think it was cigarettes. I think it was weed. But anyways, whatever. Something to cut the edge off. You feel me? So he wanted to cut the edge off and he'd go out and he'd go run. He tried years and years and years before that and always relapsed because he had nothing else to do to counteract that cigarette. He traded in one habit for another. He's like, okay, I'm going to stop smoking cigarettes. I'm going to pick up running. That's when it all comes back to self-awareness. You got to be self-aware, girl. Point blank, period. You have to have a good sense of awareness in order to go to the next level. In order to even know what to let go of, in order to make room, you have to be aware enough to know this is what I have in the toolbox. This is what I am currently facing. This is what I'm currently got. This is my current thought process. This is the current friends that I kick it with. This is the current city that I'm living in. This is why I don't like the city I'm living in. This is why I love, this is the parts that I love city I'm living in. I don't want to hear because everybody be on the same, Like, no. You have to know specifically what you're searching for. Oh, I need something that's walkable. I'm looking for a community of people who do this or people who do that, because you can literally change locations. You can change friend groups and be back on the same thing that you were previously on because you were not self-aware of what you had in the toolbox, on what is keeping you connected to those people or places and things. You don't know. So that's when it comes to a certain awareness to know what it is that keeps you there, what keeps you at a certain point. In this life of mine, these friends have to go. These places that I associate with have to go. The clothing that I wear have to go. The mindset that I walk into the room with has to go. The thought process on how I achieve XYZ has to go. And just because you let something go doesn't mean it was bad. That it doesn't mean that it was bad. That could have been a good couch, a good friend, a good outfit, a good way of thinking, but it got you to the point that you're at now, but it's not going to carry you into your next steps. Like, see, sometimes we have to understand that, not saying that people are stepping stools, but people do have their seasons. People have their seasons. In every season, in every phase of your life, everybody can't go, and that's okay. You did this for a career, and that friend was a really good friend while you were working this career, and while you were living this way, and while you were talking about XYZ, and while you were having the same common interest, and you bonded over a lot of different things that was related to the city that you were living in or your current interest at the times. That was cool. But now that you are building a new life, that friend no longer fits, and that's okay too. That doesn't mean they're a bad person. Sometimes you got to leave things with grace, and that's when it all goes back to the easier you let something go, the easier it is to pick up. Because your next season, you might not be able to have all the friends that you had. You might just need one or two to rock with you. You probably cannot even handle a friend group for the next season that you're in, and that's not a bad thing. Sometimes you just need 2 ace-boon coons, and that's it. Skedaddle, you feel me? And another thing, you got to learn how to let you go. That is the old version of you, the old ways that you thought, that piece of you that felt like home, that piece of you that felt like a part of your identity. You're going to have to let that go in order to make it into the new season and the new space and the new life that you are building. Because a lot of times we get so caught up on everything else that we got to let go, we don't realize that sometimes it's a little piece that's in us. It's a little piece that's within us that holds us back ultimately. The way that you walked into that room last time cannot be the way that you walked in the next room. The way that you talked to the people around you cannot be the same way you talk to the people you're about to be around. Prime example, the way that you prepare the food cannot prepare you for the next stage of life. You're not going to prepare the food the same way for a 28-year-old as you would a 6-month-old child. You're not about to do that. So whenever you are turning your life around and you are doing something spectacular with self, you have to understand that it is an instant decision, but a gradual change. Instant decision, gradual change. And that all goes back to mindset too. Because whatever you change outside of you, you have to change it inside of you first. As within, without. As within, without. Yes, it's going to start off with, I no longer, that's not my identity anymore. Like one day you're going to wake up and you're going to say, I'm changing my life. Not I want to. I'm changing my life today. I'm going to start making these decisions right now, today. And it's not going to feel any different. It's not going to be just as, it's not going to be like that. It's literally going to be, it's going to feel like same situation, different person. That's when you start saying, oh man, it's getting old. I don't really like that, for real. You start paying attention to the way people vibe and how everybody talking and how they really ain't you no more, and you start feeling out of place. That's the beginning of your life changing. You've made a decision that this no longer fits my identity. This no longer associates with how I view myself and what I want for myself and what I'm doing for myself. That is the beginning of it. That's the beginning of a life change. As the days compound and more information starts coming to you and more places that are aligned and more people who have similar interests, and the more you start running across things that makes more sense for the new identity that you've built, that's when the life change happens. And then one day you look up and you're like, dang, it's been whatever 2 years, 3 months, 90 days, 5 years, 10 years later, wow, my life looks nothing how it looked from the day I made that decision. Nothing. But you have to understand that it is an instant decision, but gradual change. Then the small, subtle decisions that you make throughout the day that aligns with that overarching decision that you made, that new identity, that new life, that's when it all kicks in. That's when you really start cooking. Like, that's when it's like, oh, okay, like these small changes are making really big differences, but it takes time. And sometimes it's faster for others, sometimes it's slower for others, and that's okay. But know that you are working towards something worthwhile. But that's all I have for today, sis. We'll talk next time. If there's anything that you felt that I need to touch a little bit more on, just drop it in the comments and we can get the conversation going. I might even just do a part 2 just because I'm always willing and open to learning more. So I'll talk to you, sis. Always remember, I love you, and we'll talk next time.